Right, so hello viewers, and welcome back to Magic 2015 with me, PPCC. So, just to clarify something before we begin properly, it turns out that, you can indeed have multiple decks saved up, meaning that you're not going off of one permanent, rather one slot, if you will, that just continuously carries over from multiplayer and single player. So yeah, you can click the button inside the little, I guess the hub icon here to select different decks and really go from there. And moving forwards from there, going back to that deck building concept, we're going to play through some of these battles that I had effectively just speed ran through to unlock the full deck building I guess, editor there. And one of the things here that I want to clear up is that there's a particular chain in how you get cards, because bear in mind we'll need to gather quite a large number of them, in my opinion at least, before we can really try things out in the multiplayer scene. And anyhow, how you do that is inside these little regions, these middle battles here. So these three right here are effectively like I believe the purpose of the campaign, I mean, ultimately is to just give people a good understanding of like the basic deck concepts inside the game, and these are effectively just training scenarios. They teach you about various different styles of play, and then at the very end of it you have a slightly, or I'd say a significantly harder battle. And the idea is that with these miniature battles, if you will, you get 3 cards for the first time you run through them. They're not repeatable. On the ending boss battle, if you will, you get an actual booster pack of, I believe, 10 cards there, and I think there's somewhere right around 300 unique cards inside the game, and that's split up amongst 5 different regions. So there's right around, I'd say, like 50, 60 there. And with that said, given that you can only get right around, say, 20 or 25 from this chain of events here, they've added this explore mission encounter, if you will, here to allow you to farm up other sources of cards as well, so you can unlock the extra from the set, or the vast majority from the set that you would not normally be able to get just from here. But anyhow, let's continue forward and let's move to the Cursed Existence over here, is what I think the name of the thing was. So let's see. Within a dank cave, a coven of chanting witches surrounds a skeletal being glowing with arcane power. You take a tentative step forward. All eyes fall on you. Accursed one, the lich murmurs. The killer of your kind haunts you. Alright, so going back into the plot of the game, and I mean, it's like honestly, it's a virtual trading card game, so it's not going to have a very strong plot. But anyhow, the gist of it is that we're chasing someone who's apparently been hunting down the Planeswalkers, is the people that you play as, I guess. Right, so let's see. Yeah, we built a new deck. We have let's see, not a bad selection of cards here, but not exactly the best. I think I'll just keep it for now. We can go with this and really go and see how it does. Oh, I see. Yeah, one of the things about it is that I think this person over here, the Cursed Existence person, or profile here, he seems to be playing some sort of a grinding match with us, if you will. And like I said, there are two main fashion ways that people effectively win with this win in this game. You can of course either drain the people's life force, I guess if you could consider that, down from 20 or whatever number it comes from to 0. But another way is of course taking all of the cards out of a opponent's deck. And with that said, I think what this person is setting up to do, or what his deck sets up to do, is that he wants to use a lot of these enchantments, which effectively just makes us throw out a whole bunch of cards from our deck each turn, so to one, limit our possibilities here as to what we do. So in the event that we throw out, say, some sort of critical card inside our setup here, and going from there, there's just a few other things here and there that I think it just works towards. Right, so currently, that actually, I'd say that would actually probably work towards defeating our deck pretty well, seeing as how we do depend on a few creatures here. And with that said, I'm gonna see whether or not I can get one of those cat things, or one of those life link creatures that we had going on earlier, and currently I'm just going to launch a few minor combat attacks. Hopefully we can really grind them down before anything happens, is the main thing here. And the main thing is that I just need those guys and some more land cards. So let's see, he's gonna place something down. His turns, he doesn't seem to be summoning anything either. He is, yeah, he's gonna go for the grinding, or milling is what I think they call it. Right, so he's gonna put down a few more of those cards now. Every turn we are going to throw down, I believe, like 4 cards now. We draw 1, so every turn we effectively like throw out a whole bunch of cards, making victory, of course, a tad harder in that regards. Right, so with that said, what I think I'll do is that I'm gonna put down a few of these enchantments. It doesn't look like his deck, and from what I remember, it doesn't seem like they, like this AI deck runs on a ton of things regarding, or a ton of creatures, sorry. So with that said, we're just going to see whether or not we can eliminate all of his life before he can put down any more of those tomb cards. And I mean, this type of like milling tactic, it works pretty well. As you can see, I mean, right now we are throwing out right around, yeah, 4 cards per turn, and of course we're drawing 1, and you lose, I believe, the minute that you need to go negative in terms of the numbers inside your deck there. Alright, so we're throwing out quite a few cards. As you saw there, 2 stacks of 2 were thrown out. Put down another land card. Let's get this thing out. This is a Rakish Hair. Whenever a vampire you control deals combat damage, put a 1/1 counter on it. So this will work in favor currently, seeing as how they don't really have any defenses. And hopefully we'll be able to build that up into a pretty strong creature, I guess. Launch an attack. And that is the end of that turn, so let's see what else we can do. Yeah, oddly enough, this Cursed Existence deck doesn't really like to play any creatures there. Let's see what this is. Curse of Thirst. An enchantment at the beginning of the enchanted player's upkeep. Curse of Thirst deals damage equal to the number of curses attached to him. Alright, so it looks like he's bringing in a few life-damaging spells. So again, he really wants to just grind down our resource counts over here, if you could consider it that. And from the looks of it, we'll lose, I want to say 3 points, yeah, 3 points of life this turn. And of course the cards go with it. And I mean, as you can see, it works pretty fast. Currently, we only have 30 cards left inside our setup here, so yeah, it definitely works decently well. I'm just gonna check to see whether or not we've thrown out any particularly important cards here. It doesn't look like we have, so at least that's not bad. And besides, right now we have 4, that's 6, that's 7, so we only need technically 1 more point to finish this guy off after this turn, assuming that he doesn't really do anything to counteract our forces here, so that won't be too bad. There we go. And this guy is gonna get that +3, not that it really matters. Right. I guess, yeah, that guy actually didn't put down any creatures at all. Yeah, that's the card that I was looking for. Let me see if I can find it. There we go, the Trained Caracal. We have 2 of them, so it's, I guess, not that big of a deal. I mean, then again, we're very close to winning is another thing. And the reason I say it is because, I mean, when our card counts get milled down, provided that we don't lose like the important ones, I guess we can recover from it off the chance that we have a higher chance of pulling up the cards that are absolutely essential. And there we go, we take them down to -9, and that'll be that. Right, so technically at this point we're supposed to grab some boosters amongst other things, but as you can see, that just puts us back into the campaign screen here in this event. So let's move forwards and let's play the Feast of Flesh person right here. And I'm not really sure what the tactic for this one was, I can't really remember. So, as you come across another one of Garruk's victims, the strange garb identifies the corpse as a Planeswalker. So that's the name of the person who's hunting down these Planeswalker people. Feral vampires have claimed the remains for their meal, and you are, of course, the second, or you are the second course. And let's go forwards and let's see what we can do here. So I'm going to draw a new hand here. I really want to keep one of these trained Garruks inside our holdings here. I'm seeing whether or not we can hopefully roll a nice setup here. Yeah, unfortunately that is just not working for us here for the amount of good combinations, good starting decks that we can get. So I'm actually just going to re-roll the game like such to hopefully put us on a better plane. And right now, you know what? This I can go with. It's a lot of land cards is the thing that I like. Come on. There we go. It'd be really nice if they got rid of all of these like purple bar timers for situations where there's like literally nothing happening, where nothing can happen. Moving forwards, I guess we'll do one red, one white, so then we can cast everything we have here, put down some of these goblin people things. There we go. What is this? Child of Night. Ooh. They're going for, oh, that's right. Yeah, this deck, their deck apparently also focuses fairly similarly to what we're doing here. They seem to have a lot of flying enchantments and things that have lifelink as well. Oh, thinking about it, actually, yeah, that makes quite a lot of sense, actually, going on with the vampires theme thing there. So, let's see. Righteous Blow deals 2 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. I'm seeing here, what can we do? I want to save up these enchantments just in the event that we can use them on something else, actually. Deals 2 damage to a target attacking or blocking creature. You know what? We'll save up Righteous Blow here. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to attack with one, so that we can block with the other if we need to. And in general, like my point being here is that with our 2 goblins, either way, if they put down a successful attack, that's just going to drain our life and put it in their favor. So right now, I just want to block their vampire people, I guess. There, so I'm just waiting for to see what they do. Yeah, so there's element of deterrence there. Let's see what this thing is. Blood-crazed neonate. Let's see. This thing attacks each turn if able. If it's able to deal combat damage to the player, it gains 1/1. Right, so that's that. Let's see. So that thing needs to attack this turn. And man, we have a lot of enchantments here that can definitely make a very powerful creature for ourselves here. But I'm going to play the Stonewall game. I'm going to see what they do. Let's see. Falkenwrath Noble. This is a flying thing. Whenever this thing or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life, and another person gains 1 point with a people holding it gain 1 point. So that's that. It looks like they're gonna, yeah, they have to launch an attack at us, so that'll just happen. We're gonna block these 2 things. And, ooh, that is gonna clear the field here. So now we have to deal with their decently strong, or no, here's what we can do. Yeah, that took quite a bit from us and gave them quite a lot of life as well. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cast Shock, so that we can just eliminate that. that's going to, of course, do the little trade-off here, which I'm not too worried about. And I'm gonna see whether or not we can hopefully get, say, one creature out here, something like this, that starts off with a whole ton of firepower, and I'm gonna see whether or not we can bump that up to something even greater. So we'll see what we can do here. There we go, that's gonna be the end of that. Right, so we can place down this card. And this thing can effectively block everything that they can throw at it for one. Unless they're flying, of course. Right, so that's gonna hit us for a tiny bit of damage. That's not too big of a deal. What else do they have? Let's see. Feast on the Fallen. At the beginning of each upkeep, if an opponent lost life last turn, put a +1/1 counter on a target creature that you control. So interesting. Oh, they're actually buffing up their own thing there. Well, alright, that's fair. Right, so going from here, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use some of these enchantments to really give us an edge here. So first and foremost, I'm going to buff that to 7/5. This thing attacks each turn anyways, so it's not that big of a deal. So that'll give us quite a strong creature there. Going forwards from there, this one will use 3 to cast, this one will use 1/1 to cast. Let's see. I'm going to put down the Ordeal of Helioride this turn, mostly because currently the 10 life that we gain from sacrificing it could be useful very, very soon. And going from there, yeah, they don't really have anything that can stop our current creature, so we can just attack and A, really buff up our guy, and also B, do some damage at the same time. I mean, in theory, if they had some sort of like card that banishes one creature out of the battle, we'd be in big trouble. But in this situation, it's not really that big of a thing. Right, so they're gonna do some damage now. It's gonna hit us. Oh no! And the battle continues. Let's see what this is. Sacrifice a creature, put a +1/1 counter on it. Right, so let's see what we can do now. Put down some more resources. We can get, let's see, Righteous Blow. Let's see. Guess I'll have to put down one creature just for the sake of blocking some of these attacks for now. Because we need to make it a few more turns before the Helioride thing activates, but currently, I mean, that should, yeah, definitely do quite the number on their life over there. Let's see, what is this? Rush of Blood. This thing, target gets, plus X number. Ooh, that is definitely a very powerful spell. It's gonna buff him up to 6. Yikes. It's probably gonna attack, and that's a flying creature too. So let's see. We can play the instant card now. That's gonna banish that thing away. And going from there, what I can do is that I should be able to hopefully block with yeah, this thing right here. We'll block the stronger one. There, that's gonna nick 2 of them out. He's still going to have that. And let's see, he plays down another one of those Feast for the Fallen things. Alright. Right, so let's see, they are at 14 now, so that's actually quite high. What I think I'll do to start things off is I'll play this card, the Lightning Talons, that gives something +3 to, yeah, that. They have one thing that can deal 4/4. I'll place down the Trained Caracal just to start things off. That thing has to attack, so we're gonna let it do its thing and do some damage there. There we go. And from the looks of it, yeah, that was actually the third, the third turn with order of something there, Helioid. So that triggered off, we gained 16 life, they're down to 1. Probably gonna attack, or no, maybe not. So in that case, they're probably going to try to block this next turn, or this turn technically. But either way, I think the damage is gonna bleed through, because they can of course only defend one thing. Which of course they'll choose the higher one out of the two. That'll do its thing, that card gets destroyed because it really can't do too much else than that, and we nick that down to a perfect 0. So, that wins the battle, and I want to see what achievement I got there. Let's see. Hat Trick, control the creature with 3 auras attached to it. Alright. So, I think we played down 2 battles today. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. And I think I'll take a bit of a break before continuing forwards. Because the last battle here is actually quite difficult, and I think that deserves a video on its own. So, I'll see you guys in just a bit of time.